Hey Samantha, hey Danielle. Welcome everybody. Just getting my notes together because if you know me, you know I like to yap. So I'm going to try to stay on task tonight because I know that it is a Sunday night after a holiday weekend and you probably have a million other things you could be doing, but you are spending this time with us. And so we're so grateful for that. I just want to stay on task here. So we just want to welcome you guys to this opportunity, this scoop, if you will, on what this business opportunity can look like for you if you decided to leverage this for you and your family. And so I'm going to get right into it. My name is Erin. If you don't already know me, I am a hairstylist by trade. So when I started on Plexus products, strictly for the products, because I needed to feel better, I was working behind the chair full time. I had been for 14 years and I was busy. I made it very clear that I was only trying the products for myself and for my daughter because we needed a breakthrough in our health. I was not interested in spending a bunch of time doing anything else other than what I was already doing. Like I said, was a very busy mom. I had three kids at the time. I was working full time, so between school with my kids, like running them and running them to extracurriculars and church and life, I just was too busy. You know what I mean? I definitely couldn't add anything else to my plate. But what I found was, funny enough, I would see my clients every 6 to 8 weeks, and they were coming in and they were commenting on my skin and on my energy and just this glow in my hair. And I was like, well, that's interesting because I did start this product. So I found that it was very, very easy to start just naturally sharing. I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm going to tell you everything about everything. Like, if you want to know where my outfit came from, I'm probably going to just spew it and tell you and give you the link too, because I just love to share. So if I love something, I want you to love it too. So that's really how this whole thing began for me. I learned that there was an opportunity that I could make a little extra spending money for my family and not feel guilty on the weekend if I wanted to go get a pedicure. So, hey, I was all in at that point, but still kind of tiptoeing, if you will. Like, I wasn't interested in quitting my job or coming home or making this like a full-time gig. I was low-key like sharing on Facebook and just kind of hoping people would just message me. And honestly, that is what happened. It turns out there are so many people that need breakthroughs in their health. And I didn't realize that the simple things I was sharing about, that my energy was up. I wasn't hurting after I would eat. Like, I didn't realize how many other people needed to know about that too. And so, what we have in our hands is a gift that we truly can give to everybody. Everybody needs these products. And so, it became very natural to share. And as I began sharing, I learned about things like Lululemon gift cards that they were incentivizing and a cruise. Like, what? So, yeah, I earned a whole cruise paid for by the company just for sharing the products, like literally just for spewing what I love on other people. I never got something like that by sharing Amazon links. You know what I mean? So I was all in at that point when I earned this cruise. And I mean, I would have never gone on a cruise paid for by, like, I would have never paid to go on this cruise for me and my daughter had it not been for Plexus. And so the fact that I was able to earn that and able to bring my daughter and she celebrated her birthday, it was a whole vibe. And from then on, I knew, like, okay, this is legit. Not only is the company super generous, but just to be surrounded by the community of women that I didn't even know I was lacking. I was totally good with my small circle. I had my friends from church, have my family. I was good. But what I didn't realize is that this group of women, we're all rowing in the same direction. We all have such similar stories as to how we began. And I was watching women like achieve goals, like actually dreaming, but then like meeting, like achieving their goals and doing what they said that they want to do. And that was just new for me because, as a little girl, you have these dreams in your heart, but you don't actually ever put a plan to them. And so this opportunity has been the vehicle to actually see those dreams come to fruition. So long story short, I was on the product for about 6 months and I started having this very strong pull in my heart to come home, which was crazy because I literally said the words I would never be a stay-at-home mom. But I came home one day and I talked to my husband and we both agreed, like, hey, we'll give it a year because it's not that Plexus replaced my income doing hair to come home, but it was the vehicle again to just say, yes, this is doable. Like we can come home because of Plexus. And had I not ever even started sharing this opportunity and that, desire in my heart, I would have never even been able to look at it. I would have never been able to consider it. So came home, put a year on it. But 2 weeks after I came home, we found out that we were expecting a surprise number four. So we had our fourth baby, and as you can imagine, that changed everything. I decided that I needed to make this work. And even when that pregnancy and lifed during that time, I was not consistent with my business, but I was still making a paycheck because that is the power of residual income in a business like this, that what we do. So, I sat back a little bit, still had a residual income coming, but now I am back with a fresh vision, a fresh fire. Again, I'm watching all of these women around us just fly through ranks in the company just so effortlessly almost seemingly. I mean, it is hard work, but effortlessly, and the aspect of like, this is a passion that we all have in common now. It's no longer just about us feeling better in our health. It is truly about watching people come off of medications and have energy to play with their kids and come home from jobs that they didn't want to be tied to any longer, and the freedom that we have found. And so that passion and that fire is contagious, and I have caught it. So now I'm back with fresh vision, fresh fire, and I'm so excited to see where this takes me in the future for my family. And I'm excited for you for this opportunity that you have also to leverage the very same thing that we all have leveraged and that we've all found freedom in. So whether you are already on the products or you're just here because you desperately need margin in your budget, we know back to school expenses, Christmas, all of that is coming up, and this can absolutely be a blessing to you if you decided to go all in and take a hold of it like we have. So I hope that this is somewhat of an encouragement to you. Um, yeah, so I'm going to pass it on to Jessica, and she's going to tell you her story.
Yes, that was so good, Erin. Well, my name is Jess. I am a wife, a mama of two with a third on the way. Um, I work full time in HR and payroll, and I have about a 1 hour commute to work. So, my story is a little bit different right now in the aspect that I still do work, and I've worked throughout my whole Plexus journey. My husband and I are both in ministry. We've been youth pastors for about 5 years now. And then we have two kids, like I said. So when I started Plexus, they were about 2 and 4. And they were in extracurriculars then. They're still doing it now and even more so. And then a fun fact is when I started this business, I was actually also a varsity cheerleading coach. So to say I was busy was an understatement. And I think that's like a similar theme you'll see here is that we're all started as busy mamas. I wasn't looking for a business necessarily. I was looking for better health. I was 2 years postpartum ish, but also was feeling all the postpartum things in my body still, like the imbalanced hormones, sugar cravings, not just no energy. So I wanted to come home from work and practice and be the mom who said yes to her 4 year old who wanted to go play baseball outside in the yard. But instead, I was crashing in front of my television. That's how I was like decompressing my day. And I did not want to be that mom. And I was just tired of being stuck in that like survival mode. So I was praying for more energy, more time with my family, but we were also praying for some margin in our income with how the economy was going. And I was also praying for a purpose beyond just being a mom and a wife. So, like I said, I had told my friend Shannon and Rachel about how busy I was, and I was too busy to do this business. But I was interested in covering the cost of my products. And I always love this story because it's just hilarious to me. The incentive that month was custom Nikes, and that caught my attention because I wanted to customize some Nike shoes. I actually ended up getting that incentive and then giving it to my husband. So that was super fun too, and he loved that. But I started this business. I shared with my sister-in-law, my mom, and my sister who were also having similar health struggles. And so it was super kind of easy to share, hey guys, this is what I'm doing. And they just started with me. We all started together. And then from there, I worked my business at red lights and in the carpool line, and then sending voice messages on my commute to work. So it was very easy to find little pockets of my day. And now that kind of looks like at baseball practice, at baseball tournaments. We do a lot of baseball these days. Sitting, waiting for my daughter to get out of gymnastics, stuff like that. Um, and so now we have better health for sure. I've had two pregnancies not on Plexus. And so I'm excited that this pregnancy I get to experience with Plexus. With extra income, we've been able to cash flow multiple vacations. We are a family that loves experiences. We love vacations. So that was a must for us. We've been able to pay for daycare for several years. The whole time I've been on Plexus, my income has paid for daycare, vacations, multiple other things. Um, and then also, just the most unexpected part of all of this was the community of women who love Jesus and dream big. Like Aaron, I also, like, I'm busy, but I also had a close group of friends. That wasn't something I was necessarily looking for. I had my close group of friends at church, my close group of friends, in work and all those things. But I didn't realize it's a different, what's the word, vibe, I guess Aaron used. It's a different vibe when it's a bunch of women who are working towards the same goal. They want more for their family. The Lord's put these big dreams in their heart and big visions in their heart, and they're going after these goals. So that was probably the most unexpected thing. But if you take away anything from this, I really want you to take away the fact that you do not need the perfect schedule. In fact, no one here starts with the perfect schedule. Even the ones who make it to the top still have unperfect schedules. But you can also do this in the middle of real life with kids, with household chores and duties, um, with kids who are doing gymnastics and soccer and football and baseball and all the things, with a husband and with a job. So, yeah, with that, I will pass it to my friend Rachel.
All right, y'all. Well, my name is Rachel, like Jess said. I'm really excited to be here tonight. I also am a wife and a mom of two. I have a teenager, so I'm in a little bit of a different season. Well, Aaron has a teenager too, so we're kind of experiencing that as well. So I have a teenager, and then I have a little boy who is 6. And I too was not looking for any type of opportunity. In fact, 6 years ago, I didn't know what network marketing was, social selling, any of that. I had no clue. And so when I was approached about it, I really just was a blank slate, I guess, because I had had no experience with this. But also at the time, I wasn't looking for anything because I truly was happy with my life. I was teaching full time. I was a special education teacher. And I loved what I did. I loved that I got to pour into students. I loved seeing the light bulbs go off. It just really felt fulfilling to me to be able to teach. So life was good, and I was super grateful for it. But my youngest came along 6 years ago. And he was just a really great blessing. And I had always had a desire when my daughter was a newborn to stay at home, and we were never able to make it work. Prayed about it, sat down, wrote it out on paper, and it just was not going to happen for me. And so when Luke came along, I just assumed. Honestly, I didn't really even think about it because I just felt like it was not an option for me. So I had him in the summer. I went back to work in the fall, and I could not, the feelings of I need to be with him, I need to be with him, got stronger and stronger. And so about halfway through the year, I looked at my husband and I was like, something's got to give. We're gonna have to figure this out. At that point, I had been using Plexus products for a while, and I had started making a little bit of income because I felt good, and I realized how how many people I knew needed the product. So I had started like naturally sharing. In fact, I made my parents sign up with me because I knew they needed it. And then my best friend and a coworker was dealing with some things too. And I was like, well, come on, do this with me. And then from there, it was just like I would be talking to somebody and I'm like, oh, you got to start doing what I'm doing. And so before you know it, I was bringing in 300, 500, 600, $700 a month. And I was like, well, this is fun. And then when that yearning started to come back really full force, something just clicked in my mind. And I was like, this is it. Like, this is what I can do. And so I did. And so, 5 years later, I have been home. Yeah, I've been home for 5 years, and my paycheck has covered our mortgage every single month. And then eventually it started covering other bills on top of the mortgage. And I have been home that whole time. And in fact, last year we abruptly started homeschooling at the end of the year. And so now we are a homeschooling family, which I would have never done because I would have been teaching. In fact, if you had asked me, I would have said I would never homeschool my kids. Like literally, I've said that multiple times. But here we are, and we are loving it. So, one of the things, another thing that I love about Plexus, and Aaron mentioned this too, is just, and also Jess did, there's so much, they're so generous. And so, there's so many things we can earn here. Um, Aaron mentioned a cruise. Well, um, last month, Plexus announced a earnable trip coming up to Cancun, Mexico, y'all. I love some chips and salsa, and so I am all about it. Give me all the tacos. I am ready. But so that is coming, and what's great about this is it is not something that only the top people can earn. This is something someone coming in brand new. In fact, it would be way simple for someone coming in brand new to earn this trip to Cancun. So there's that coming up in February, and we're all super stoked about that. And beyond that, y'all, though, let's go before February. Christmas is so close. Like it is coming up, and I know that as joyful as Christmas should be, there are so many times it is so stressful for families because of what? Because of finances, right? Because we're having to swipe credit cards and all the things. And I am here to tell you that Plexus, it makes it so simple by simply sharing a product that you're already using, like people do with Amazon links and all kinds of things, except for here, it is real money. So this month alone, like starting, if you started tomorrow, there are ways to earn anywhere from $300 all the way up to over $1,000. It all depends on you and how you decide to show up and how you decide to share. And so I just can't think about, like, I can't stop thinking about how many families could benefit from an extra $300, from an extra 500, 800, $1,000 or more, to cash flow their Christmas or their travels coming up for Christmas and Thanksgiving. So Christmas is not far, and this could be such a blessing. If not for you, it could be a blessing for someone else that you know who has really been praying about something. And something I often hear is, okay, but I have no background in sales. Same, sister. Me neither. I was a teacher. Erin, like you heard, was a hairstylist. Jess is working in HR. None of us do sales, right? None of us have any background. You don't need it. You don't even need a massive following. When I came in, I rarely posted on social media. And I just, I had no presence really on social media except for holidays. So all you need are a few things. You need a desire for change in your life. You need a willingness to learn a few new skills, and you need commitment to show up for yourself every day. That's it. Those three things. If you have those three things, you can be successful here. And also, if you have those three things, you're ahead of where I was when I started. So that is the great news. Okay. So, guys, we are so glad that you joined us. I know you could have done a lot of other things with your Sunday night, but listen, somebody invited you because they have gotten to know you and they see potential. They see what you could do here and they believe in you. So, be sure to reach back out to the person that invited you. Ask questions, tell them your concerns, all your thoughts, and see what could be possible here for you. All right, y'all. Have a great night.